Joey Gallo is a superhero with his baseball bat. Using phenomenal power, he launches baseballs high and far in every metropolis he's encountered.
Gallo, this ball smoked. High and deep. It's gone. A home run.
Stunning villains and seeking justice for his people. Now, a new villain approaches, and Joey's heroics are needed again.
And he hits his ball well. Out to right field. Willick upper deck. Gone! Rangers baseball is presented by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. That was kind of fun. And it should be fun again here tonight. The Rangers and their big sluggers like Joey Gallo and company. They have enjoyed this series with the Orioles. And tonight, game 3 of a long 4-game series. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again. The Rangers and Orioles. This has been a series the Rangers certainly have enjoyed. Normally, with a 4-game series, you go into it with a little bit of caution because, you know, weird things can happen. The Rangers have not minded at all, and in fact, this offense now for the better part of a week, rolling.
It's really rolling, and they've pounded the Orioles the last couple of games. 2 more games left in the series. But over the last week, it's been a nice all-around effort by the Rangers. They've pitched, they've played defense, but they've really hit the ball. They've won 6 out of 7, scored 8.5 runs per game, hit almost 316 home runs in 7 games. There's been a lot of hot hitters. Jerks and Profar, Odor, 2 of the hottest. They've each knocked in 10 runs in the last 6 games. Again, 2 more games left with the Orioles. See if they can keep this offensive onslaught going.
Yeah, no doubt. It has been a lot of fun, Tom, and they hope to keep it going. It is somewhat shades of days past, maybe when some of the great Rangers sluggers have done similar things. A guy like Vladimir Guerrero, and we'll celebrate him tonight, not just in the pregame show, but certainly tonight we will put him in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. By Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Ranger Killer. Noun. Used to describe a one-man wrecking crew against the home team in Arlington. Next to the dictionary definition, you'll see one man pictured. The original Ranger Killer, Vladimir Guerrero.
Guerrero rifles one into left field.
During his time with the Angels, the man simply known as Vlad terrorized Texas to the tune of a .395 batting average, the highest ever recorded against the Rangers. In one of baseball's greatest twists of fate, the original Ranger Killer went from Anaheim to Arlington, becoming an integral part of the Rangers' first ever World Series run. From Ranger Killer to Ranger Legend to Hall of Famer, Vladimir Guerrero is forever enshrined in Cooperstown, and now he returns to Arlington.
Special night, part of a special year for Vladimir Guerrero. Just but a couple of days ago, officially inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and today celebrated here at Globe Life Park. And that was just moments ago, joined by some of his buddies. Ceremonial first pitch tonight. One of the greats, and such a big part of that magical 2010 Rangers season. All right, we put him in the Shiner Light Blonde spotlight, Tom. He was a special one to watch.
He was a unique hitter. He had power to all fields. He was a big, strong guy who made contact and swung at pitches out of the strike zone like that one right there. This ball actually bounced out in front of home plate, hit it into the outfield for a base hit. He killed the Rangers when he was with the Angels. He hit .395, 25 home runs, .460 on base percentage. Then in 1 year with the Rangers, he killed the Angels. He hit almost 300, 5 home runs and 17 RBIs in his 1 year with the Rangers against the Angels. Over his career, he did enough to get into the Hall of Fame, and it was a lot. Over one 10-year stretch, he averaged 35 home runs and 114 RBIs, career 300 hitter, won a Silver Slugger 8 times, got to the World Series only once, and that was his 1 year with the Rangers in 2010. And throughout this weekend, he's mentioned it a couple of times what a big thrill that was for him to play in Texas and get a chance to go to the World Series. The only time he got a chance to do that in his career.
And of course, such a meaningful part of that team to get them there to that World Series. Some great moments, especially in the ALCS. All right, well, Mike Minor has the start tonight for the Rangers. 3rd game of this 4-game series, and he hopes to continue what has been a very nice run for the Rangers. For a little more on the Rangers starter tonight, let's check in with Leslie McCaslin.
Well, you're right, Dave. He just took the mound, and he faced Baltimore back on July 15th, and he struggled. He had a really long inning. He gave up 6 runs, and he was pulled in the 3rd. But recently, he's made a big turnaround. In his last appearance against the Houston Astros, he was solid. He gave up just 2 earned runs, went 6 innings, and got the win. Jeff Bannister told me he'd like to see Minor stick with the same things he did here against the Astros. He did a good job of playing the high-low game with a high four-seam fastball and the low breaking ball. Gave him more swing and miss and limited those foul balls and those long at-bats. He said hopefully Minor will continue that process here again today. Dave?
I love it. I mean, you find a little something that works, and then you try to perfect it. Let's see how he does tonight against this Orioles lineup. 33 wins, 77 losses. It has been a struggle. They will lead it off with second baseman Jonathan Villar. Tim Beckham at short. Adam Jones in center field bats 3rd. Danny Valencia with a start in right field is the cleanup man. Mark Trumbo the DH. Trey Mancini at first. Then it's Nunez, Joey Rickard, and Caleb Joseph the catcher rounding it out.
And for Mike Minor, our Shiner pitch arsenal. Leslie mentioned that 4-seam fastball. He throws that about half the time. Belt high, tailing away from a hitter. Very tough pitch to contend with. Also throws a good slider, changeup, and a curveball. And against the Astros, as Leslie said, he threw some high fastballs, and the combination of that high fastball with the breaking balls down was really tough for the Astros. That was a nice start. 6 innings, only 2 runs.
Well, you keep hearing about that concept around baseball. Astros have exploited it. The Yankees have really leaned heavily on that. Show a fastball up, a lot of breaking balls down, and it seems to be one of the tougher combinations right now for today's hitters. As Jonathan Villar takes a hack of the first pitch of the ball game. We're underway tonight. A warm one again, 98 degrees at first pitch, but actually feels pretty comfy. At least up here where the fan is blowing. And there's a pitch a little bit upstairs, goes to 1-1. Well, nothing has felt very good for these Baltimore Orioles. 43.5 games out of first place coming into play today, and Boston already won earlier today, so you can make that 44 games out as we get started here tonight. That is a tough way to go.
The Red Sox have won the first 3 games against the Yankees. They've opened up an 8.5 game lead. One of their recent acquisitions, Nathan Eovaldi, 8 shutout innings today.
Villar with a high fly ball deep out there to center field, and that one takes Tocci all the way to the wall. But Tocci sticks right with it, and there's one away.
Well, you sensed that Tocci was on that ball all the way, and you hoped he had enough room to catch it. He's tracking it, he sees it, he knows he can catch it. The only thing that's going to get in his way is the fence. But he doesn't let that bother him. Concentration, catches it, knows there's going to be impact, braces himself, and comes down with the ball. Nice way to start the game. You know, Mike Minor is very appreciative of that. Instead of a man on second or third and nobody out, got 1 up and 1 down.
Really nice play by Tocci, and enjoyed seeing him roam center field. He's pretty solid out there. Is Tim Beckham now.
Yeah, he's got a very relaxed way of playing center field. Not that he's relaxed going after the ball. He's going after it hard. He just makes it look easy with the smooth way he plays it.
This ball hit hard into left field, and Beckham is aboard. That's a long run for Calhoun to get to it. Beckham going for 2. And the throw will be offline. 1 out double for the Orioles shortstop.
I'm going to take a look at the Ranger defense tonight. It's delivered to you by DeMontrond RV. So Willie Calhoun retrieve that ball. Carlos Tocci in center, make a great catch, and Joey Gallo will be in right field for the Rangers. Jurickson Profar gets the start at third. Elvis is at shortstop. Rougned Odor at second. Ronald Guzman gets the start at first base, and behind the plate, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
So man in scoring position for the Orioles, and here is Adam Jones. Jones .282 average, and he takes a strike. Has a long look back at Mike Esterbrook as if to say, wait a minute, you watching the same thing I'm watching? Didn't like that call.
Well, he's not going to walk anyway, so it doesn't really matter whether that was a ball or a strike. That's just incidental, really.
That's a good point. He's up there to swing, and he does. That one had some wicked English on it, but plenty of time for Odor to adjust. 2 away. Beckham moves up to third. So we saw Tocci make that nice play out in center field. There was a Rangers roster move today before the ball game. Delino placed on the disabled list, and it is that 7-day disabled list. Post-concussion syndrome for Delino has him sidelined now until at least August 10th. Drew Robinson brought up from Round Rock, where he was hitting .308.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best stretch, extended stretch, that Drew has had at the upper levels of the minor leagues. So he's definitely earned the right for that call-up. Hitting over 300 down there. Hopefully he'll get a couple of opportunities up here to shine while he's here.
Well, Danny Valencia to bat here with a man at third and 2 out. Valencia .270 average with 9 home runs this year. He made his big league pitching debut in this series. It was Thursday night in that 17-8 Rangers win. But he has been swinging a hot bat since the All-Star break, hitting over 400, a .414 average.
Yeah, in that he only faced 1 hitter. He struck out the only hitter he faced with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So that was pretty impressive watching that one batter for him.
He's down to third. Profar takes care of him, and the inning is done. So Minor looks good in the top of the first, and now the Rangers come to bat. Get their hacks tonight. Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup. The Rangers 48 and 63, and Jurickson Profar leading things off at third base. Rougned Odor bat second, play second. Andrew said short will bat third. Then it's Beltre, the DH, Gallo at right, Kiner-Falefa catching. Guzman, Calhoun, and Tocci at the bottom of the order tonight for the Rangers.
Take a look at the Shiner arsenal for Dylan Bundy. Young 25-year-old right-hander. 4-seam fastball about half the time. Good slider, changeup, curveball, 2-seam fastball. Pretty much you'll see 4-seam fastballs. That's the high fastball, slider. Kind of the same thing that Mike Minor is trying to do today. From the right side, Dylan Bundy will be trying to do the same thing.
And Bundy's first pitch up and away against Profar, .252 average. On base, .338 for Profar. And he'll take a borderline strike. It's 1-1. Profar up at the top of the order with the Shields sideline now for a little bit. Did not play yesterday, was 2 for 5 in the opener. But finds himself in a hole here, ball and 2 strikes.
And Dylan Bundy was the 4th pick in the draft in 2011. And a lot of the scouts that watched him, if you asked them who the best high school pitcher they ever saw was, they would consider him. I'm sure they'd have a list of several others they'd consider, but that's how good he would. Look at this ball spin and come back.
How about the spin on that one, and Joseph stuck with it. Profar, just a bad luck put out there, 2-3.
They hit that ball right off the end of the bat. It went right down into the ground, and it was spinning so fast, it spun back toward fair territory. Watch in slow motion off the end of the bat. And you can see it spinning. It almost looks like the ball is cut. You can see part of the ball off the round part. And that ball spun all the way back into fair territory. Look at that. The cupped bat is sharp on the end, and it actually cut the ball. Cut some of that hide of the ball. Didn't affect the throw at all, but that's one unlucky at bat to end up with a fair ball on a ball that was a foot foul right behind home plate.
So a tough put out. And now Odor, who has driven in 7 runs in the first 2 games of this series. You see his overall numbers. He has been the story for the Rangers the last couple of weeks. But back to your thing on Bundy. Bundy was a phenomenal high school player. You mentioned a first-round draft pick, 4th overall. He's only 25 years old now.
Yeah, he missed a couple of years with arm injuries. He played for Sam Carpenter and the Dallas Mustangs, legendary youth baseball team. Been to the Connie Mack World Series, seems like every year for 20 years. He played for him, and on the same team was Archie Bradley. Archie Bradley was a top 10 pick in the draft the same year. So when you recruit those kind of players, both the kids were from Oklahoma. They came to Dallas to play for Sam. And it's pretty obvious they had a good team that year, no matter who else was on the team with those 2 kids pitching.
Born in Tulsa, grew up in Owasso, Oklahoma. And a little bit low, 2-2 the count. And he had, remarkably, legend has it, you know, his workout regimen was something of legend in Oklahoma. He had all sorts of unique ways to stay in shape, gain strength. You know, he would apparently chop down trees, carry them. He would work on this 15-acre lot in Oklahoma where he'd haul these big bags of sand around, rearranging the property a little bit. But in high school, he pitched in 2 games in the same day, threw 181 pitches in the 2 games. Odor fouls this one away, and then quickly after the game wanted to make sure everybody understood, not the coach's decision, right? This was my call. I wanted to throw all those pitches. The last of the 181 that he threw that day apparently clocked at 92 miles per hour.
You know what I say to that? It is the coach's responsibility.
Well, yeah.
The kid does not dictate that to the coach. He throw 180 pitches in one day. I don't care if the kid's father came down between games and said he wanted to pitch. It's up to the coach to say no. Remember when that happened to Kerry Wood? Kerry Wood pitched both games of a doubleheader, started the second game of a doubleheader after a ton of pitches. And what's the high school kid going to say? Especially if the coach goes up and say, "You're all right for the second game, aren't you?" I'm not saying the coach said that, but that's the responsibility of an adult, not to let a high school kid do that. And I'm not saying that's why he got hurt either, but it certainly didn't help. And when he was 21, 22, I think it was, he spent time on the disabled list a long time with arm injuries. And I think most orthopedic surgeons would say that one of the contributing factors to Tommy John surgery, shoulder surgery in young professional pitchers is the workload they had as an amateur. And when you're that talented, it's tough not to get overworked when you're young. Your little league coach wants you to pitch the big game. Your high school coach wants you to. Your summer league team wants you to. A lot of times you're pitching in the fall. You're pitching all year round, throwing too many pitches. You go to the showcases, every pitch you throw has a radar gun on it, so you're never really relaxed throwing an 85% fastball. You're maxing out every one to try to light up that radar gun. And then when it's all over and done with, pretty hard for you to be 100% healthy when you enter into pro ball with that kind of workload.
Yeah, well,
That's generally speaking. I'm not saying what happened to him because I don't really know, but generally speaking, I think that's one of the problems that young pitchers have, and professional teams have when the young pitchers get into professional baseball.
2-1. And Elvis smacks that one down the third baseline. That's a fair ball. Dives down there near the wall. Elvis to second base, and he'll hold with a stand-up double. Andrus, his 13th double of the year.
They're talking about young pitchers, even college pitchers. When you watch the College World Series, take a look at Elvis hitting that tailing fastball down and in. Just barely kept it fair right down the line. Elvis stays hot. 15 straight games he's hit in. Ball rattles around the chair down there. But you watch the College World Series, and there's a lot of drafted players, high drafted players. Casey Mize, the #1 pick in the draft, was pitching for Auburn in that series. And if you're the big league team that drafted those kids, you're hoping for a quick exit so that they don't have to pitch anymore in the College World Series. They might start the first game, and I think if you're a professional team, silently you might root for a couple of quick losses so that the kid you drafted doesn't get asked to pitch too much right before he enters pro ball.
Bundy, wild pitch. Gets Andrews to third base after Elvis extended his hitting streak now to 15 games. Elvis waited till his last at bat last night of the 8th inning. And it looked to be an improbable at bat in the first place to get a hit, to extend his hitting streak, and then waste no time tonight. 1-1 now on Adrian Beltre.
We've had Keith Meister, the Rangers orthopedic surgeon, on the air several times over the years, and he said the amount of players coming in ages 13 to 15 for Tommy John surgery is almost ridiculous how often it's happening now. It's probably a combination of maybe poor pitching mechanics, improper conditioning, and then a workload that a young arm just can't take. It's where if your child's going to grow up to be a pitcher, you hope it's a girl in fast pitch softball. The underarm motion is not stressful on your arm, but the overhand motion sure is.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Adrian Beltre. Bundy has had some trouble in the first innings this year. And a swing and a miss. He gets Beltre's second strikeout of the inning. The Rangers leave a man at third. So both teams had a base runner, but neither team scores in the first. Now in the second, we look ahead to the end of this homestand Wednesday, a day game, August 8th against the Mariners, final game of that series. And it'll be another Texas Chili Company $1 hot dog day. Get your tickets now, TexasRangers.com, or call 972-RANGERS. Come out and join us as the first pitch to Mark Trumbo, right in there for a strike. Trumbo, the DH, batting 5th. 13 home runs, including a homer in the opening game of this series. He's in a hole 0-2. Trumbo currently on a little 6-game hitting streak. Leonard couldn't coax him into going after that one in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Mentioned earlier, the Orioles 33 wins, 77 losses, and they're 44 games back to Boston up to the moment. You start thinking about, well, how big can that number get, right? I mean, 44 games out. Boston's still going gangbusters, playing good baseball. Baltimore hasn't shown signs that they're going to turn things around anytime soon. And there's a swing and a miss. Trumbo strikes out here in the second inning. So you start to wonder, how big can that number get?
Nicely located changeup had Trumbo way out in front of it. Once you offer it this, when it's in this location down like that, you're not going to make much contact with it. Everything about that changeup was good.
Now Trey Mancini, and he takes a strike. Mancini with 15 home runs this year, 231 average. Little tapper out toward the mound. Minor has it, turns, and he will throw him out. And so there are 2 gone here in the 2nd inning. One of the worst deficits one can remember. 1962 Mets. They were 60.5 games back of the Giants at the end of that season. That's a long and big deficit to overcome. But Buck Showalter and his club, they might be edging near that number before too terribly long. And their schedule's a tough one down the stretch. Good swing and a miss by Renato Nunez. And for Baltimore, they're in that stage now where they want to see some of the younger guys play and see maybe what they got in some of the trades that they made. A lot of moves made at the deadline. And so that number ultimately at the end of the year won't really matter, much as it did not for those Houston teams when they began their rebuild. Whether they lost 105 or 111 games was immaterial. It was about developing guys for the future run.
I guess all you want to do is lose one more than anybody else, just to make sure if there's one superb player available in the draft that you're the one that gets him.
That's true. I mean, I guess that's what you start looking at.
So right now it's a battle between the Orioles, the White Sox, and the Royals.
1-2 pitch.
It's not like football, certainly not like basketball, where one spectacular teenager can come in and turn your organization around. It can almost happen in basketball. I guess it can happen in football if it's a quarterback, but in baseball, your return on that investment doesn't even show up for several years, so you don't really know. And then one player, especially if it's an offensive player, one player can't make a difference by himself. The Rangers saw that with Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez was the greatest player in baseball, and it wasn't even close while he was with the Rangers. In fact, he won the most valuable player for a non-pennant contender when he was in Texas. But it didn't make much difference. 50 home runs, 140 RBIs, whatever he hit. The Rangers still finished near the bottom.
Comebacker off the bat of Nunez. Nicely played by Minor. And he completes a 1-2-3 second inning. Inning and a half in, no score.
Welcome back. 0-0 as the Rangers hit in the bottom of the 2nd. Before that happens, let's look at the Orioles defense, which is sponsored tonight by Jack in the Box. Rickard Jones Valencia in the outfield. And we'll take a look at the infield. Renato Nunez at third, Trey Mancini's at first, Tim Beckham, Jonathan Villar up the middle, and Caleb Joseph again behind the plate for the Orioles.
Gallo, this one got in on his hands, pops it up back over second, and a nice running play made by Nunez to track it down. One away.
That was a good pitch, obviously, by Bundy. I would say most left-hand hitters, if they hit the ball on the same part of the bat, would have been lucky to get the ball to the grass in the outfield, let alone almost get a blue pit with it. You have to be strong to hit a ball that far that hits about an inch above your fist. Joey almost got a little blue pit on that one.
So one gone now, and here is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Isaiah getting the job behind the plate tonight. He went 2 for 5 with a couple of RBIs Thursday night. In fact, Kiner-Falefa, the playing time now a little more spotty with him handling some of the catcher's duties. Hits this ball up the middle, and that's a base hit. And Isaiah aboard with one out here in the 2nd inning.
Well, Isaiah's been hot coming into the game. He was hitting .379 with that hit. He's 12 for his last 30, hitting .400 in that stretch of time, and you can see him fight that ball off. That ball is really inside. It's going to hit the bat the same way that Joey's ball hit the bat. But he just kind of yanked his hands in toward his chest and got enough of the barrel of the bat on the ball to hit it hard enough to ground it into center field for that hit.
So even with a little more irregular playing time for Kiner Falefa, he maintains some very impressive proficiency at the plate. He has 7 steals this year. And Dylan Bundy, a guy who's had a little trouble holding runners. We'll see if the Rangers are aggressive against him tonight. We'll check in on Isaiah. Guzman waiting. And he's ahead now 2-0. Ronald with the .237 average. 1 for 3 last night. Was hit by a pitch, scored a couple times. And it's 3-0. You look at Bundy's numbers this year. Bundy 7 wins, 9 losses, and a .453 ERA. Strikeouts are good. 123 of them in 115 innings, 35 walks. And there's a strike to make it 3-1. And boy, Guzman really fooled by that call.
Especially if you're a young hitter. That's when you don't want to do. He didn't do it on purpose. He legitimately thought it was a ball. And maybe it was. But when it's close, probably better just wait for the umpire to, in the umpire's mind, show him up like that. Again, Ronald thought it was a ball. Looked like it might have been a ball. Not the point.
Full count now. Boy, that was, I think in his estimation, not even that borderline. I mean, he was, his brain was already at first. So suddenly Bundy back in the count. And his payoff, little nubber out towards shortstop. Beckham will have 1 play. That's over to first. So they get Guzman, 2 away. Kiner Falefa out there at second base now. That gives us a moment to check in with our good friends over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
All right, so 2 out. That'll be up to Willie Calhoun. So one of the numbers, though, that jumps off the page about Dylan Bundy this year are the home runs. He's allowed 26 home runs this year. And that has been a real big problem. Tied with Jacob Junis of the Royals for the most allowed so far this year in Major League Baseball. Good chunk of them, though, came in a 7-start stretch back early in the season. Been a little better at keeping the ball in the yard lately. And there you see it. Tied for most in the American League. One and one.
Very nice play by the fan with a glove down the left field line. Bright orange shirt. It's no Zach Hampel, but still a very nice play.
Oh, representing the Netherlands. This one fouled back out of play by Calhoun, who has a little 4-game hitting streak going. In fact, Willie has hit safely now in 8 of the last 10 games at a .323 clip. And he's been piling up the doubles in this series. They play him fairly conventionally on the infield. Straight away in the outfield, the 1-2. And this one's lifted into short right field. Villar out from second base. He'll tuck it away, and the inning is done. We've played 2. Still no score.
It's time for the big story. And it's a nice story if you're a Red Sox fan. Yesterday, Rick Porcello, a complete game, 1 hit, 1 run. It was a home run, no walks, 9 strikeouts, almost a perfect game. Today, Nathan Eovaldi, not quite as good, but almost. 8 innings, 3 hits, might have been better. He didn't give up a run. 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. Back-to-back days, 17 innings, only 1 run against one of the best offenses in baseball. Red Sox had won the first 3 games against the Yankees and opened up an 8.5 game lead.
Of course, against his former ball club.
Got one other note on Rick Porcello's game last night. Complete game took 2 hours and 15 minutes. Today's game, that's a rapidly played game.
Rickard pops this one up into short left. Calhoun is there.
He threw 86 pitches in a complete game. The last complete game under 90 pitches happened in September of 2006. 89 pitches. You know who it was? You already know, I told you. Rick Porcello. The last 2 pitchers to throw a complete game with less than 90 pitches. The last 2 times it's been done by Rick Porcello.
It would have taken me a while to come all the way back around on that.
It's slightly a trick question, I guess. That's what he's capable of doing when he's on. Boy, you add to that list Chris Sale. Chris Sale's on the disabled list right now. They hope to have him back fairly soon. But in the meantime, they traded for Nathan Eovaldi, and he's thrown just about like Chris Sale would have thrown had he started those games. David Price is part of that rotation. That's pretty good pitching on the Red Sox.
Caleb Joseph out in front there. The count now 0-2. You at a point yet where, especially now that the deadline is passed, that you could say one way or the other, you have identified a favorite among the American League contenders?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that you have to go with the Red Sox opening up an 8.5 game lead. Maybe a couple of months ago, you might have looked at the Yankees and thought that that was going to be a really close race come right down to the stretch, and it might still happen that way. But right now, with the power the Red Sox have in their rotation and the solid lineup that they have, seems like it's going to be pretty hard for the Yankees behind by this much with 2 months to go to catch them.
Joseph with a strikeout, 2 away. Let's pause a moment, a Chevy game break, and check in with John Radigan.
And Mitch Moreland had a 2-run homer in that game as well.
Yeah, pushing all the right buttons right now. Everything's clicking for them. But I mean in the entire American League, Tom. So, like, would you say that Boston, in your mind, clearly ahead of, let's say, Houston or Cleveland?
I think right now Boston's playing better baseball than Houston. But I'm not going to rule Houston out because they're the defending champs. They don't have Altuve. They don't have Correa right now. And as good as the Red Sox rotation is, it's not better than the Astros rotation. I think you might give the Red Sox a little bit of an edge with Kimbrel as the closer. Although the Astros have a lot of power arms to choose from late in the game. I think if both teams are healthy, I tend to go by the theory that until someone beats last year's champion, that team is the best team. So I'd still stick with the Astros. It's easy to jump on the bandwagon of a hot team, and we're all guilty of that. Right now, if you had to jump on a bandwagon of a hot team, it'd be the Red Sox. But I just remember how overwhelming the Astros were last year, and they're still pretty much the same team, maybe with Verlander all year long with a better rotation. So I'm going to stick with the Astros.
I'll take Oakland.
You never know. Who knows? I just can't imagine in postseason that their rotation will stand the scrutiny of those other teams.
Sliding stop at third, and Beltran with a nice play. A 1-2-3 third inning, and Jurickson Profar, what do you know? Finding himself in the mix defensively. Wherever you put him on the diamond, he's due up second when we come back.
To the top of the first, Carlos Tocci goes almost 30 yards to catch that ball. It said the catch probability was 64%, which maybe it's 64% to go 30 yards to catch that fly ball without a fence there. But I think the fence might have made it a little bit more difficult like that. At least it looked that way to me. That's StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Tocci leading things off in this third inning. He's batting ninth tonight. Well, the average at 167. The overall number's not going to wow you. He's looked a lot better, especially in the second half when he's had more regular playing time, but he strikes out looking to start the third. One away. Profar coming up. We check in with Leslie McCaslin.
Well, guys, Profar just had that great grab and throw to first to end the last inning and half inning, and he is just so unbelievable. This is his fourth straight start in which he plays all four infield positions. Now, if you ask him about it, he says nothing's really different. He prepares the same. No big deal. But he played shortstop and third base growing up. That's what he prefers. He says he's more comfortable there, and he said very frankly he thinks first base is a little bit boring, guys.
Well, it's boring because he's got good hands and he's a shortstop, but for some of us who didn't have those same hands and didn't have the agility to play shortstop, first base still presented a little bit of a problem. And I don't think the Condor thinks it's boring over there. At least he makes it look anything but boring. Ronald Guzman, every time he does the stretch, gets oohs and ahs from the fans, picks one out of the dirt, saves the infielders an error. A pretty exciting player to watch play his position.
Yeah, he makes it quite interesting.
Yeah,
over there.
Got some flair.
I get it though. You know, you're a gazelle. You want to run. So whatever. If you're a left side of the infield guy, you want to show off the arm. Those quick reactions. That's a little more appealing. Profar lines this one up the middle and off the glove of Beckham. The recover, but no throw offered. And so Profar with a third hit of the night for the Rangers.
Almost robbed by Beckham. Beckham got all of his glove on that ball, but it spun out of his glove. With a slider that pretty much just spun, stayed straight on the outside part of the plate. And Jurickson hit it hard enough so that Beckham wasn't able to keep it in his glove.
So a man on now for Rougned Odor.
Talking about Bundy and the injuries that he had. 2013, he had Tommy John surgery, missed the whole season. And then in 2014 and 2015, he pitched a total of 63 innings. So over a 3-year period between the ages of 20 and 22, he only pitched 63 innings. And in his whole minor league career, he only has 167 innings, which is a really low amount of innings for a high school pitcher who's pitching in the big leagues right now.
Yeah, he went something like a little better than 1,200 days between major league appearances because of that Tommy John surgery and the time it took him to get back. And he's had some other problems as well, shoulder issues and whatnot. Still just 25 years old, however. And you know, even this year on a struggling Baltimore team, 7 wins against 9 losses. But that dwarfs pretty much anybody else on this pitching staff. Well, you look at the rest of the starting staff, or guys who have started. There have been 10 who have started this year for Baltimore. And so Dillon has 7 wins, and we've talked about how the win maybe not be as relevant a stat anymore. The other 9 Orioles starters have combined for 15 wins of their own. 2-1 now on Odor. So nearly a third of the victories accumulated by Orioles starters this year have been credited to Dylan Bundy. There's Andrew Kashner, who we saw in the opener. Three and one. So here's Odor again, working a count, laying off those pitches that are just a little bit out of the zone. Now in a great spot to do some serious damage. Certainly has shown a willingness to accept the walks as well. Two for 5 yesterday with a home run. It was a grand slam. Third career grand slam for Odor. And he'll pop this one back our direction. This was a part of a 7-run inning last night.
By the look on the pitcher's face that he missed his location with that pitch and found the right part of the strike zone for Rugnet to put the barrel of the bat on it. Sharply hit ball went, ooh boy, 15 or 20 rows back in right field.
There's the payoff. Runner goes, and there's ball 4. So Odor, who walked 5 times in Thursday's game, draws the walk here. Brings up Elvis Andrews. Now our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard tonight. Look at Rangers' home hit streaks, and Andrews now at 18 with his double back of the first inning. Josh Hamilton hit in 29 consecutive home games back in 2010. Nelly Cruz 21 that year. Those are the only 2 streaks longer than the current one for Elvis. Hits this one back up the middle, but could be 2. VR steps on the base, throws over to first, and indeed it is a double play. So the inning is done. Rangers leave another man. We've played 3, still no score. Lines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. Well, the pitching's been the story here early on tonight. As we head to the 4th inning. Mike Minor has faced 1 over the minimum. The only Oriole who has reached is Tim Beckham, who leads things off here in the 4th inning. He had a double, eventually stranded at third base, and Minor starts him in. Beckham thinking about bunting, and they want to appeal on that, but no. He pulled back in time, according to Mark Carlson down at first. Beckham hitting .327 since the All-Star break. In fact, that number actually a little better than that with the double earlier tonight. Takes a strike. It's 2-1. He's now 18 for 53 since the All-Star break. Closer to 340. 3-1. Well, Minor's done a good job today getting the ground balls. 4 ground ball outs, or rather 5 ground ball outs, 2 fly ball outs, and a couple of strikeouts. Runs the count full now on Beckham. Mike coming off a really good start his last time out in Houston. And Leslie talked about that at the open of the broadcast about trying to replicate a little bit of what he did against the Astros in that ball game. And a little pop up out into short right field, playable for Odor, one away. Speaking of Leslie McCaslin, where is she now?
Well, guys, I'm with Eileen King, our progressive fan of the game, because not only is she celebrating her 60th birthday here at the ballpark, thanks to the sign I found her, but she, like a lot of people, is a huge Adrian Beltre fan. Show me all your memorabilia here.
This is Adrian's memorable 3000 hit bat that I bought myself for my birthday, and it's number 325 of 5000.
And she's got the sign, guys. She loves him. She was at that game.
Yes,
huge fan, and a huge happy birthday to you. And here is your fan pack. We appreciate it, Eileen. Back to you guys.
Well, that is
What
awesome.
a great Ranger fan. Adrian in particular.
Yeah, a lot of Adrian Beltre fans out there, no doubt. But that's pretty cool. She's all in. Yeah. You see a lot of 29s around the ballpark.
Well, a lot of times fans don't necessarily pick the best player, although Adrian is the best player. They pick the player they like the most. And even though Adrian is the best player, he's probably the one they like the most, just because you can come out to a ballpark and just watch him and not the game and see how much fun he has. See the smile on his face. Conversations he participates in with his teammates. It's hard not to like him.
Lazy fly ball to center field. Jones retired, 2 away. So a big Rangers fan wanted to put out a poll question today asking fans, well, who is your favorite of all time? Is it Pudge or is it Nolan? And
or is it someone else, or you only had 2 choices?
You had 2 choices. You could punch it and then send your vote. And so a lot of people decided instead of doing that, they would simply respond Josh Hamilton or Michael Young.
Yeah,
that's Gonzalez.
That for a diehard fan of a team, it's almost impossible to pick one over the other. Maybe if you're a pitcher, you stick with Nolan. If you're a catcher, you pick Pudge. Infielder, Michael, Adrian. Outfielder,
Tom Grieve.
Yeah. If you're over 80 years old, maybe. Otherwise, you might go with Josh Hamilton.
Ooh, slow bouncer at third base, and an easy play for Profar, because I think Valencia thought that one was going foul and did not get out of the box very quickly. A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. When we come back, bottom of the 4th inning in a scoreless game, well, Adrian Beltre will lead things off. And as Adrian gets set to lead off this inning, we've been comparing his resume to some other Hall of Famers recently. We did this with Ripken the other day. How about next to Vladimir Guerrero here tonight? Beltre offers it the first pitch and fouls it away. Vlad used to be the record holder for hits by a Dominican-born player, 2,590, until Beltre passed him. Two of the all-time greats, and Vlad now officially in the Hall of Fame. And while just 1 season of his career spent with the Rangers, it certainly was a memorable one. Obviously, a lot of folks still celebrating the great Vladimir Guerrero in that 2010 season. His bobblehead likes the view from out there. 1 and 2 on Adrian Beltre. Great giveaway tonight. Now, you were saying in that game 6 of the ALCS, he had 3 RBIs in that game, but that he was really a part of the loudest you've ever seen.
I was in the stands for that game. In fact, I was sitting out in the home run porch. Just wanted to see what it was like out there, sitting with my wife. And obviously, I can't quantify this, but to me, that was the loudest roar ever at the ballpark. When he hit the double in the gap to score 2 runs to make it a 3-1 game against the Yankees. And then almost as low, Airmail got him.
Well, Beltre looked like he was going to be out on a routine play by Renato Nunez, but that's what we saw earlier this year, and it's part of the development of Renato Nunez. The arm can be a little erratic. And so Beltre is on It'd be a very big two-base error.
That's one you don't expect to get if you're a fan. Take a look at it. Looked like Renato had everything under control here. Takes plenty of time. Just launches it. Umpire's coming over to watch first base, and he sees it go into the stands. I think it went into the stand. Yeah, the guy caught it. I didn't see that when it happened. No wonder he was smiling. But right after Vladdy hit that ball, I believe it wasn't, maybe not the next hitter, but at some point in time, Nelly Cruz launched one into the seats, and it was pretty much just as loud then. Might not have been as loud as it was when Neftali Feliz struck out A-Rod to end one of the series. I can't even remember which one it was when he struck out A-Rod, whether it was that year or the next year. But that was pretty loud too. He got Alex looking at a slider, and the fans pretty much erupted as loud as you possibly could in that one too.
Nelly Cruz was the next hitter in that game.
Hit a solo shot right after it.
Let's see here. Yep.
Boy, when you take a look at that lineup that the Rangers had, Josh Hamilton hit .350. You've got Vladdy in the middle of the lineup. You've got Nelly Cruz. Not to even mention Michael Young, Ian Kinsler. There were hitters all through that lineup.
David Murphy and
David Murphy, yeah.
Ball and 2 strikes on Joey.
Not a fun team to face. I think it was that year. One of the years, it must have been that year. One of the years Josh was here, he had a 3-month stretch in the middle of the season where he hit over 400. So he probably had well over 300 at bats, hitting over 400. And when you watched him play, he was healthy, and he was running the bases, scoring from second on infield outs, diving for balls in the outfield, running into the walls, hitting tape measure like that.
This one down the line. Will it stay fair? It does! And Gallo with another home run. And he has broken the scoreless tie. A 2-run shot. Rangers score first tonight. Boy, Joey has been in a groove.
For the last 2 nights, he's hit line drive home runs, but he really hasn't hit that well. He hit them off the end of the bat. They both went out pretty easily. But this time, he hits a 2-seam fastball, and he does hit this one solidly. That's probably 110 plus miles an hour. No doubt that wasn't going out. Hit him okay the last couple of days, but that one he really smacked. That's a powerful swing. Watch out in the stands.
Well, breaking ball to Kiner Falefa. There for a strike, 1-1. Yeah, cut a ball. This one out over short. Base it into left field for Kiner Falefa. So big 2-base error. The line drive homer, and now a base hit. Tough start to this 4th inning for Dylan Bundy.
Kiner Falefa takes advantage of a hanging breaking ball, slider right in the middle of the plate, smacks it into left field. Yesterday, David Hess started out pretty well through 3 innings, had an unearned run, and it was the 4th inning that the Rangers got to him for 7 runs and hit 3 home runs. But the Rangers are putting something pretty nice together here in the 4th inning. Bundy kind of had done the same thing.
Joey Gallo, by the way, that's 7 home runs and 14 RBIs in this, the 12th game since the All-Star break for him. 7 homers, 14 RBIs in 12 games. Well, 11.5 games. Runner goes, pitches down low, go down to second. Oh, in time. They got Kiner Falefa trying to swipe second, and Isaiah reluctant to leave the base. Well, they're going to take a quick peek upstairs.
Quick release by Joseph and the tag, and won't be any replay on that one. Boy, looked safe from up here, but then when you see the replay, you see how accurately the umpire called it.
Yeah, you say, oh, that wouldn't have been close. No.
Bruce Dreckman, second base umpire, on the call.
2 balls and a strike now to Guzman. Ronald grounded out of the second. It's 2-2.
Just getting back to Josh Hamilton, kind of reminiscing about that team, and Vladdy and Josh on that same team. It's hard to imagine that many players could have played better over a 3-month period than Josh did in that season.
Soft line out to second, 2 away.
Because he had, you know, he's 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds, had the speed of a center fielder, power as good as anybody, hit for average almost 360, ran the bases. Nothing on the field that he couldn't do well above average.
Calhoun, and that's a one-hopper by VR. Tough play. Calhoun is aboard.
Yeah, he got caught in between. He didn't know whether to come in for it or stay where he was, so he kind of let the ball play him. It was going to be a tough hop and a tough catch the way he played it. He took a step back, and that was probably a mistake, but in defense of a second baseman playing out there, you're just not used to being that far away from the hitter, and charging a ball or staying back on it is a tough decision. He probably wished he came in after that ball and tried to short hop it instead of waiting back and letting the ball play him.
This is a hit for Calhoun, 6th of the night for the Rangers. Now Tochi, who struck out looking in the 3rd inning. Rangers won the opener 17-8 on Thursday. Yesterday, an 11-3 win. And today, with the early 2-0 advantage. There's Calhoun with a small lead. And Tochi fights off another. So Tochi, the Rule 5 draftee, who is on this roster, has been all year and has to remain on the roster. He has been busy in the second half. He has played in all but one of the Rangers games since the All-Star break, hitting .258. And that one is outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Bundy's 1-2 pitch, and he strikes out Tochi, so the inning is done. But the Rangers break through first once again. Joey Gallo, he's home in every game in this series, and another line blast out of here at 114 miles per hour. It's 2-0 Rangers. And you know, the Rangers have already scored more than 10 runs in this series, and that means that you will save $10 on full price tickets in the Lexus Club Terrace, the corner box or upper reserve and upper box seating sections to upcoming Rangers games. The discount applies to the Mariners series Monday through Wednesday. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials to take advantage. Trumbo leading things off here with the 5th inning for Baltimore. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Minor has retired 11 straight after giving up that 1-out double in the 1st inning. And this ball on the ground out into right field. A base hit, so Trumbo is aboard.
First baseman Trey Mancini.
So the Rangers offense, we touched on this in the open today. It's been a great week, but in this series, first 2 games of the series, those are some pretty crooked numbers. And he's been a big part of it, Joey Gallo, adding to those numbers tonight. Ground ball, second base. Odor with a quick flip to second one. On to first. 2. Double play. 4 to 6 to 3. And just like that, the leadoff single erased.
The same kind of a ground ball. This one just went right straight to Rugi. One Trumbo hit was to his right. The one Mancini hit was right to him. One pitch later. Really couldn't ask for a better ball to turn a double play on. You're so close to second base. It's a simple flip. Elvis doesn't have to worry about the runner. It's almost like taking infield practice to turn that one.
So now Nunez, and he takes a strike.
That's economical. The hitter. Was that the first 2 pitches of the inning that were hit? Base hit and that ground ball?
No, I think Trumbo
Did he take one before that?
Yeah.
Okay. But Nunez went up there, was taking all the way. Took a strike and swung at a ball. Now it's 0-2.
So a chance for a 7-pitch inning if Minor can get a verdict right here. Nunez at a comebacker, back of the second. Ooh. Won't get comfortable. Nunez does represent very good power. And also working on a little 4-game hitting streak. Otto played in 13 games with the Rangers earlier this year, went 6 for 36 as a Ranger. And he takes upstairs here. Was claimed off waivers by Baltimore in mid-May and spent pretty much the rest of the time at AAA Norfolk. Just recently called up. And he takes strike 3. Well, it is a short inning nonetheless. An 8-pitcher for Mike Minor. And he'll take a 2-0 advantage to the bottom of the 5th. And Jurickson Profar starting things off as our TXU Energy power player to watch. Last 6 games, he's been in a groove. And cues this one down to third base. Nunez takes a little extra time. Throws him out, 1 away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Say hello again to John Radigan. Another hot team right there. Cleveland really playing well. Making some moves to get better. And I like the Leonis addition for them. Indians had a 9-game lead coming into play today, so they're comfortable in that American League Central.
They got Andrew Miller back. That'll help their bullpen. Really, they can almost give players a little bit extra time that are on the disabled list to make sure they're healthy. They've got the kind of lead. Minnesota's in second place. They're 8 games under 500. So for the Indians, you have the luxury of getting healthy, setting things up, coming down the stretch any way you want it, getting ready for postseason play. Don't have to worry about being the wild card. They're going to be in the postseason as a division-winning team. Just no competition in that division.
Boogie just ripped Caleb Joseph's mask off with that foul ball. It slid off in a hurry. The 1-1 pitch. This one popped back behind the plate our direction. Strike 2. And Rugi has struck out swinging and walked.
Corey Kluber had a couple of bad outings back to back, but now he's on the verge of having a couple of really good ones back to back, shutting out the Angels tonight.
Well, you talk starting pitching, you could certainly look at the Indians, and that's just it. I mean, all the real top tier teams we're talking about in the American League, they've got deep rotations and good pens.
Yeah, Cleveland is set up nicely for postseason play if they're healthy. Kluber and Carrasco at the top of the rotation, and then they brought over Brad Hand. Andrew Miller's back. Cody Allen, their closer. Late inning bullpen work is pretty well taken care of for Cleveland. A couple of lefties, a couple of righties. So they won't be a pushover once they get to the postseason either.
Odor smashes this one back up the box, and he is on with a hit. More great contact from Rougned Odor. And he is aboard here in the 5th.
Waiting for his pitch, and when he gets it, hitting it hard most of the time.
Well, Rugi grounded out on a ball last night at 107 miles per hour. I mean, everything right now coming off that bat is pretty sharply hit.
How hard was his home run? Do you remember?
Last night, no, I don't.
I would have thought that was a 110-ish too. Joey Gallo hit one kind of in the same place today, maybe a little bit harder, and that was 114.
Yeah,
you said today.
Yep.
Rugi's probably wasn't 114, but would have thought it was zeroing in on 110 last night.
Told it was 109.
109.
So pretty
Thanks,
close
Mike.
time. Runner goes. Little hit and run. Slow roller third base. Nunez hustles in. Throws out Andrews, and heading to third is Odor, but they'll throw him out.
Finally found something he did, a base running mistake. That's pretty tough to find anything wrong with Rugi's game, but he got thrown out. Amazing.
Well, an unconventional double play, but it ends the Rangers' 5th. It's 2-0.
Our Southwest player breakdown. Let's check out Mike Minor. Got Mark Trumbo to wave at strike 3, Caleb Joseph on a fastball, and Renato Nunez looking. No walks, 3 strikeouts through 5 innings. Mike following up a nice outing against the Astros with a pretty sharp one so far through 5 innings tonight.
Definitely impressive tonight. 8 and 9 hitters coming up here in this 6th inning, and there's a first pitch strike to Joey Rickard.
You mentioned this several times, how hot, not just how hot the Rangers have been, but how hot the Orioles have been. They've been scoring runs. And so when a pitcher right now pitches well against the Orioles, some people might be inclined to say, well, it's not that big a deal. You're just facing the Orioles. But it's really not the case since the All-Star break. They've been right neck and neck with the Rangers as far as offense goes.
There's a strikeout of Rickard, 1 away in the 6th. Now our Kubota power stats tonight from Minor. Well, they're his numbers for tonight. 5 1/3 innings pitched, shutout ball. No walks, 4 strikeouts, 8 ground ball outs. And he's now thrown a first pitch strike to 15 of the 18 batters he has faced.
He's thrown 59 pitches, 45 strikes, and only 14 balls. That's one of the better ratios through 59 pitches that we've seen. You know, 40-20 would be really good through 60 pitches. He's 45-15 strikes to balls.
And there's another strike. This one to Caleb Joseph. 1-2 the count. Joseph struck out in the third. Minor pitching with a little conviction tonight too. I mean, he's getting that baseball and right up there ready to go each time. Not a lot of deliberation about what to do. He and Kenner Falefa seem to be on the same page. And there's a swing and a miss. Strike three. His fifth strikeout tonight.
Well, he set up the changeup with a good fastball. He got ahead of the count with his fastball, and Joseph, having a hard time catching up with the fastball, was way out in front of the changeup. You can see the circle change. First finger and his thumb form a circle. The ball comes off his last three fingers. Throw it just as hard as you throw your fastball, but because of the grip, the ball goes 8 miles an hour less than your fastball. 6 to 8 miles an hour less usually. And the result is the hitter thinks it's a fastball based on the way you let go of it and what you look like when you throw it. But then he's fooled by the fact that it's slower than the fastball.
That's 3 straight strikeouts following the double play he got in the 5th inning. So Minor really locked in at the moment, ahead of ER 0-1. Though a very good hitter, and in fact was 5 for 10 as an Oriole coming into play today. He is flied out and grounded out today. Comes to the Orioles via Milwaukee, and part of that Jonathan Scope trade at the deadline. And swings and misses at strike 2.
He's getting a lot of swings and misses. That was on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Minor was one of the big projects coming into the season, one of the big stories, and Rangers happy to transition him back into a starting role from a reliever with Kansas City last year, where he was very effective. Bouncer wide of the bag, foul at third. This year's been all about easing him back into the rotation. And now the question is, as we head down the stretch, is sort of monitoring the workload a little bit. He was a great starter when he came up with Atlanta. Injuries slowed his career and altered his path into that bullpen with Kansas City. But Minor, one of the reasons he signed with the Rangers, they were willing to let him become a starter again, and I think that has been a move that has paid off for both sides. Rangers happy with what they have seen from Minor. The 1-2. Chopper right side of the infield on the slow one. Guzman has to hustle it to first, and Minor gets there ahead of ER. 2 in the inning.
Well, a nice 1-2-3 inning for Mike Minor. 2 strikeouts, gives him no walks, 5 strikeouts. The Rangers are rolling, and so is Mike Minor through 5 1/2.
And the first 15,000 fans get a Ted Williams first Rangers manager bobblehead. A nice one by Sweet Baby Rays. I don't know what it is about it, but that's how I see Ted Williams as a Ranger.
Yeah, the Ted Williams bobblehead. That is a pose that you saw frequently from Ted. Always wore a Ranger jacket over his uniform and frequently had his hands in his pockets, just like it appears in the bobblehead.
1-1 to Beltre. Ooh, a little tight. 2-1.
Bundy been getting knocked around in his last 4 starts. His ERA was 8.39 coming into this start, but he's pitched well tonight. He's given up an unearned run and the home run to Joey Gallo. Scored on Joey Gallo's home run, actually. A little higher pitch count than Mike, though. 87 pitches right now.
This ball hit well out to right field. Valencia, though, positioned very well. 1 away.
Let's take a look at our Ford game summary. The 2 runs of the game scored on this fastball right down the middle and Joey Gallo turned on it, ripped it down the line, kind of his territory out there. He's hit 3 of them, 1 each night of this series. Since the break, Joey Gallo's hit 7 home runs. Only Chris Davis has hit 8. And we saw most of those in that series against the A's, unfortunately. But boy, you talk about bouncing back after a bad series of crushing losses. The Rangers have done that.
Ball 1 strike on Joey Gallo. We've talked so much about Rougned Odor and all the adjustments he has made and what that has meant for him. Gallo has been a great second half player, and you have to wonder if we're seeing a little bit of that again here in 2018. Last year he was so much more productive in the second half than he was in the first half of the season. Hit 194 in the first half, at 229, had a 357 on base in the second half last season. His OPS was 929 after the All-Star break. He was locked in. And he's off to
He definitely looks locked in right now.
Yeah. Outside, and it is 3-2, and part of it has been that willingness, like Rugi, to lay off pitches not in the strike zone. You know, I say willingness, maybe it's just recognition, whatever it is. They've shown to be a lot more patient. This one to the left side, fouling out of play.
Gallo last year walked 75 times. I think he's on pace to probably walk a little bit more than that this year. In fact, if he finishes strong, he could walk over 80 times, which will get his on-base percentage up even higher.
Ooh, strike 3 call. That one's several inches off the plate, according to Fox Tracks, but Gallo down looking 2 away. Let's check in again with Leslie.
Well, guys, you were talking about how good he's been in the second half of not only this season, but last season. You know, he said it could be that he's seeing teams more at this point, that he's taking advantage of the fact that pitchers are getting a little bit more tired, that you get refreshed after the All-Star break. Whatever he wants to say, he won't give credit to himself. But we saw it this entire season, how he'd have a bad game, he'd go straight and watch film. He talked about how he felt like maybe he was in one of those sophomore slumps, and he has been so patient. He said he really has tried to learn from his failures and just know that 1 month doesn't mean it's a bad season. And guys, he's clearly getting better.
That's for sure, Leslie. Looks like exactly what he's doing right now. It sure feels better when you're putting in that work to have some success. Trying to reward yourself for the hard work, and he's having it right now.
Kiner Falefa takes off the plate 3-0, and Isaiah 2 for 2 tonight. Was a catcher, Kiner Falefa, hitting over 300. There's the automatic strike, 3-1. So this is a long stretch for Kiner Falefa, 27 games in which he's hitting 313. Lays off that one and will take the 2-out walk. Well, that was the 100th pitch of the night for Dylan Bundy. But just the second walk he's allowed. And it brings up Ronald Guzman. All right, our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Paul Fry loosening out there for Baltimore. He may be in here shortly.
Bundy's only been over 100 pitches 5 times this year. 15 times he's been under 100 pitches, so he's pretty much at his limit right now. The lefty getting warmed up in the bullpen. Might be his last batter.
Well, a warm night. 98 degrees at game time. 93 now. And that one, It's the outside corner. Guzman not happy at all with Estabrook. And he's had a little trouble with our plate umpire tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty much a perfect pitch. The ball he struck. No, the 3-1 pitcher last time.
3-0 pitch in the second inning, I think.
A little bit low, yeah.
Oh, you're right. I think it was 3-1. Anywho, it looked like it was ball 4. Now he fouls this one off.
But you know, if you have a pitch that you're not happy with, called a strike on a 3-1 pitch, you're still in pretty good shape. 3-2 pitch. Still control the count.
Guzman 0 for 2. These strikes out swinging. Not happy with it. That will end the inning. Rangers leave a man. 6 innings in the books. It's 2-0.
Time now for our cricket smile. And that belongs to Mike Minor in the 6th inning. Got Joey Rickard swinging to start the inning. He gets Caleb Joseph swinging at a changeup, and then on a little tapper to Ronald Guzman, he gets Jonathan Villar for a quick 1-2-3 inning.
So now here with the 7th. Beckham, Adam Jones, Danny Valencia. And Minor up and away with ball 1. Just 2 hits allowed, 2 base runners so far tonight for Baltimore. And as you mentioned earlier, Tom, this is an offense, the Orioles, that had really been in a groove since the end of the All-Star break. They've been like 2nd in the American League in runs per game.
Yeah, pre-game show, or the open to the show, we showed hot offenses, kind of compared the Rangers to the Orioles over the last week. And it was pretty even. Rangers have overwhelmed them a little bit in this series, but the Orioles still have had some hits and runs up until today. Mike Minor has been commanding this game. He's only thrown 71 pitches here in the 7th inning. He's only thrown 18 balls the whole game.
And there's strike 3 called on Beckham.
And a way to throw in a gem right here. Fastball, not much doubt about that one. It's right down the middle. 4-seam fastball right there. There's the numbers: 54 strikes and 18 balls. That's pretty much as good as you'll see. Strike to ball ratio.
There's ball 1 to Adam Jones. There are times when we'll see something like that, and you almost have concern that a guy's in his zone too much. But that has not been the case today. The strikes have not been hittable by and large. This ball hit sharply and off of Odor's glove. Out into center field. Adam Jones is aboard. With 1 out here in the 7th.
All I can say on that one is we've been watching Rugi the last month and a half. If he doesn't catch it, that's a base hit. And that was a smash. That would have been a really nice play if he was able to backhand out. That came off the bat at 100 miles an hour. Took a little skip on him right there. He got the glove on it, the side of his glove, but that was going to be a really good play if he was able to catch it.
First pitch strike to Danny Valencia. And he has that look on his face too, like, really? We've seen that a few times tonight, both sides. Valencia, the last time he was up, he didn't run out of the box, and he put a ground ball down to third base. I think he thought it was going foul, but it stayed fair. Now this ground ball smothered by Odor. They'll go to first and get Valencia. And another great defensive play by Rougned Odor.
Well, if he made that play on Jones and followed it up with that play, I don't know what we would have said about him. But that was a beautiful play. Showed his range. Showed the hands that he's got. to make the ball go in the glove, the agility to get up and throw it quickly, and then the arm strength and the accuracy to finish it off.
So with 2 gone.
And what a transformation his defense has been.
Mark Trumbo now the hitter, and he takes one outside for a ball. Now, so much harder to measure. You know, we can put numbers on all the hitting that Odor has done, but a lot harder to legitimately measure his defensive improvement. There you see the in-game box score. Not a lot doing these Orioles hitters so far. Just the 3 hits by Beckham, Jones, and Mark Trumbo. 6 strikeouts so far for Minor.
No, I think Rugi has made something like 41 or 42 errors the last 2 seasons combined, and he's only made 5 this year. And errors are not the total measure of defense, but it's certainly one thing to look at. And I think what it shows that Rugi has done is he's pretty much made the routine play an automatic play. In the past, that hasn't been the case. You don't make 20 errors back-to-back years if you're converting your share of the routine plays, but he definitely has done that. And then I think he's added to his defensive record by the extra plays he's making, like that diving play he just made. He's making all the above average plays, but most importantly, he's turning the routine play into an out almost every time.
Three balls and a strike on Trumbo. And it's a full count.
In case you're looking for a fastball on that 3-1 pitch, I'm going to cross you up a little bit.
Well, Minor trying to make it 7 shutout. He's at 81 pitches for the night. Rangers got their 2 runs. Back in the 4th inning. Minor has been in absolute control from the get-go. Here's the payoff. And a flare into center field, base hit. Jones rounds third. He'll score on the Trumbo single. It's a 2-1 ball game.
First baseman Mancini.
And Trumbo fights this pitch off. It's on the inside corner of the plate. Hits it okay, not on the barrel of the bat. The result was pretty good for him, though.
Did what he was trying to do, get it out over the infield, get that run in. 34th RBI of the year for Trumbo. And Corey Guerin has been loosening up out in that bullpen for a little bit now. Probably pretty close to ready if needed. Doug Brocale takes a moment out of the mound to have a word with Minor and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Pitch count has not been an issue tonight. The highest pitch count he has right now is here in the 7th inning. He's thrown 14 pitches. And Jeff Bannister has talked a lot coming down the stretch. This is the most innings Mike has pitched in the last couple of years. He was in the bullpen last year, so he's far surpassed his innings total from last year. The idea of keeping him strong through the end of September, not missing any starts, but to keep track of the innings and the pitches on a game-by-game basis. So occasionally Mike will be taken out when he feels pretty good and not totally happy with coming out of the game, but that's Banny's way of managing a situation and making sure he's healthy for spring training next year.
Yeah, 77 2/3 innings last year with Kansas City. 0-2 pitch, and tap side. Let's see with tonight's work. Currently sitting at 117 innings this year, and that's a significant bump in innings.
Yeah, with maybe 9 or 10 more starts left too.
The 1-2. Mancini squibs this one toward second base, and Odor throws him out. The inning is done. Baltimore gets a run off Minor. It's a 2-1 ball game, and he pitched beautifully tonight. The time now for God Bless America.
Your
We turn it over
attention,
to Chuck Morgan.
please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please rise and direct your attention to the area behind home plate? And welcome back from the band Prophets and Outlaws, Matt Boggs. In honor of all the veterans who have served our country and the servicemen and women who are currently stationed at home and around the world, Matt will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's our Who's In, Who's Out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. And there's Paul Fry, the man who is in for Baltimore. Dylan Bundy, the man out. Fry making his 15th appearance of the year.
Yeah, pretty nice numbers for Fry. 15 strikeouts, only 3 walks.
So he takes over a 1-run game. And we start things off with Willie Calhoun. Calhoun puts this ball well out to center field. Back on it though is Jones. Has a little room out there. 1 away. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check it again with John Radigan. Yeah, that continues to be a wild National League divisional race. The Central. Brewers putting up a pretty good fight here in 2018.
Well, they're making a lot of moves, that's for sure. Picked up a lot of players. Some gave them really a surplus. They've got some extra players, extra infielders, and extra outfielder. Picked up Jonathan Scope from the Orioles.
Yeah, I think that's the one that surprised people the most, just because it didn't appear that they really had a need for Jonathan Scope.
Mike Moustakas came over from Kansas City.
Tochi takes a strike, 1-2 the count. Is struck out swinging and looking as Fry on relief for Dylan Bundy, who went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 7 hits, only 1 of the runs earned. A couple of walks and 6 strikeouts for Bundy. Off the plate, 2-2. This one back up the middle, but positioned perfectly. VR has it, throws out Tochi for out number 2. See it. Shin-Soo Choo down on the bench today, a day off for him. He's getting ready for his autograph session coming up on August 7th, 10:30 a.m. at Whataburger at State Highway 161 in Arkansas Lane in Grand Prairie. Now, when you're there, sign up to be a Whataburger Whata fan, and you can win tickets to an upcoming Rangers home game, as well as Whataburger for a year. Just go to TexasRangers.com/appearances to get all the details. Now, Profar is 1 for 3 so far tonight. He'll take on the inside corner for a strike. Played in the opening game on Thursday. Drove in 4 runs in that game. Today in the leadoff spot with Chu getting the night off. He takes strike 2. So Fry coming right after him. That one very close. We've primarily seen Chu as the leadoff man. Certainly of late. Profar has a decent amount of experience batting in that leadoff spot. He's been used all over the lineup over the years by Jeff Bannister. But when you look back at his entire career, leadoff spot, one of the more frequent positions for him. The most frequent, batting 8th. Hits this one slowly on the ground toward shortstop. Beckham is there, and he throws him out. So it's a 1-2-3 for Paul Fry. We head to the 8th inning. Rangers lead by a run. Done right. What a great view. As we look in here at Globe Life Park, Rangers leading 2-1. Top of the 8th inning, and you know, a Coca-Cola family pack offers savings of over 50% on tickets. That's Coca-Cola, Tom, not Coca-Cola. You can get over 50% on tickets, food, kids own access, souvenir programs, and Coke soft drinks. It's a great way to see the Rangers and Mariners Monday through Wednesday of next week. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials and get yourself a Coca-Cola. There's Drew Robinson in the game, playing in left field now. So just called up today. And Corey Guerin on the pitch.
Good solid numbers for Corey when you combine his outings with San Francisco and the Rangers. Sinker, slider, and a changeup. 41 innings, 40 strikeouts. As most relievers do, they come into a game with almost as many strikeouts, sometimes more strikeouts than innings pitched. Frequently more strikeouts than innings pitched.
Well, it gets the bottom third of the order. Nunez, Rickard, and Joseph. Guerin's been pretty good for the Rangers. And this one, a broken bat roller up the middle. And that one is through for Nunez. He's the lead man on here with the 8th inning. Gives us a moment to once again hear a word from the good folks over at Kia.
When you're America's Best Value, you don't need fancy uniforms. How'd you know it was clip-on?
Well, not a lot going on offensively tonight for the Orioles. That's their 5th hit. Nunez aboard. Rickard now the hitter. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Showing bunt. Good night tonight for Mike Minor. Mike went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 4 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts for Minor, and he only threw 86 pitches. Very efficient, very effective all night long. Guerin mindful of Nunez over there at first base. He does represent the potential tying run. The bunt attempt goes foul. The wind picking up a little bit here, or maybe just in the booth.
No, I look at the flags. They're streaming in from right field pretty hard on top of the stadium.
Well, we'll see. That wind might have an effect on some balls in play late in this game. We're at the top of the 8th inning. A little bit tight. 2-1. So this is a long 4-game series. We'll wrap it up tomorrow and say goodbye to the Orioles for the year. We mentioned earlier some big series around Major League Baseball. Boston once again beating the Yankees 4-1, the final score today out at Fenway Park. Popped up first base side. Guzman reads that and takes care of it. 1 away. So tomorrow in the finale, our coverage will begin at 1:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest. And our forward probables, Jeffrey Ramirez and Martin Perez, a rematch of the Saturday game back in Baltimore just prior to the All-Star break. Martin, no pressure. Rangers starters done a nice job in this series. Keep pace with everybody else. And Guerin slings one right in there for a strike to Caleb Joseph. Guerin with that long look in, bit of a trademark for him. Not on the long hair, but he tends to study hard on each pitch. Oh, that might be just trying to hold Nunez over at first base as well. This ball hit well down the left field line. It is hooking foul.
He put a pretty good swing on that pitch. Didn't even look like it was a strike inside. Pretty hard to keep that ball fair. You can see he chokes up on the bat a little bit, which helps him control the bat. He got the good part of the bat on it, but he wasn't able to keep it fair. Hit it solidly, though. How many guys choke up today? But you get pretty good, a little bit better bat control, I think, when you choke up. If you're comfortable with it.
Well, Guerin would certainly love a ground ball here with a man on, 1 out. He's off the plate with that one, and it is 2-2. Rangers turn to double play back in the 5th inning. Giving a little help to Minor, who didn't need a whole lot of help today. He was pitching the ball really well. Two to Joseph. Way outside, and that one caroms away. Takes a weird bounce toward third. In fact, Guerin, the man who will track it down off the mound. A wild pitch. Puts Nunez at second base.
The first 2 games of the series were blowouts. This is a close one, so little things like this matter. Not much Isaiah could do on that one. He had to reach 3 feet to his right to try to stop that ball. Now Corey has to bear down with the tying run out at second base.
Well, the full count pitch to Joseph. There it comes. The fly ball out to right field. Gallo goes back and he'll make the play. 2 gone. Nunez went about halfway, so he'll have to return to second. And now the top of the order coming.
You get a good look at what the right fielder sees. Joey Gallo. Pretty simple play for him as he roams out toward the warning track. Runner at second base, Nunez, not vital to get to third base with 2 outs. He went halfway. On a routine ball like that, sometimes you'll see the base runner anticipate a catch. 99% of the time go back and tag up to get to third base. Already has been one wild pitch in the inning. It's a lot easier to score from third than second.
Yeah, I suppose that one, I was kind of wondering on that, Tom, because the one thing is if you want to try and tag up and move to third on Joey Gallo, you have to be mindful of the fact he's got a good arm. So maybe that was part of it for him as well.
Yeah, I think he just made up his mind he was going to go halfway, because even with Joey's arm, as he's drifting back for that ball where he caught it, he was going to have a hard time making a strong throw to second base, let alone third base.
So is that pretty much a coin flip for the base runner? It's like,
I think what the base runner does is he says halfway, then as he watches the ball and sees the outfielder, you sprint back and tag up and go to third just to take that extra base, because it's going to be a routine play. It's not like he had to run into the wall and make a tough play.
Well, chopper to shortstop. Andrews corrals it, throws out VR, and the inning is done. And so the Orioles leave the tying man in scoring position. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th inning with the Rangers up by 1. It'll be Odor, Andrews, and Beltre coming up.
You by T-Mobile. A hard smash earlier in the game. Adam Jones, almost a great play by Ruge. Tried to backhand that 100-mile-an-hour smash. Had some topspin on him. Next pitch, a beautiful play to his left. Couldn't quite make a terrific play on the one before it, but he backs that one up with a beautiful play to get Danny Valencia on a ball looked like that it was headed to right field for a base hit. Built for baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile.
Last of the 8th inning here. Rangers up by a run, but a chance to add maybe a big insurance run or two here. Odor to lead things off. And he'll take ball 1 from Paul Fry, who was very efficient in the 7th inning. 3 up, 3 down. Another good day at the plate for Odor. He was walked and singled. And this one lifted foul out of play. Well, the Rangers just announcing a roster move a moment ago. Kind of unusual. We don't see this very often. If you look at the upcoming schedule, tomorrow's game, well, we will have a new Ranger making the start. It will not be Martin Perez. Drew Hutchinson was just signed to a major league contract. This ball hit well. High in the air. Deep to right. It is out of here. Odor's in a home run. He does it every day. His 13th, and he puts up a huge insurance run for the Rangers. 3-1 in the 8th.
As we just got done saying, he is built for baseball. We showed his defense. Now how about a little offense? He's already walked, had a sharp single, and now a home run over the Ranger bullpen. The Ranger left-hand hitters have been powdering home runs against left-handed pitchers. Another one by Ruge. The grand slam he hit last night was against a lefty. Joey Gallo's had 10 home runs against left-handed pitchers this year.
Pretty remarkable. We'll take another look when we come back. Michael Gibbons coming in out of the bullpen for Baltimore.
3-1 lead, and here's how they did it. Paul Fry, a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Rougned Odor, a line shot over the Ranger bullpen in left center field. 104 miles an hour, 445 feet, and yeah, did he catch it? No, he thought he caught it. But it went 445 feet. Rougned Odor just playing great baseball. 13th home run of the year. We showed him 15 minutes ago making a spectacular defensive play. Come back and show him hitting a home run. 2 more hits tonight, a walk, 2 for 3. His average over 270. On base percentage over 350.
Third time in his career that he's homered in 3 straight. Now a fly ball out to center field. Andrews, the first out of the inning. So Michael Gibbons just in out of the bullpen for Baltimore. And a little reminder that MLB At Bat is your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience and take advantage of great features like MLB.TV Game of the Day. In-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Adrian Beltre now with one out, nobody on here in the 8th inning. Rangers closing in on a mile of home runs in this series. 8 home runs in excess of 3,300 feet. And Steve Hunt, our statistician, who's been furiously adding them up.
That's about 412 feet per home run.
Yeah,
about right.
Beltre has scored a run tonight. Reached on an error a little earlier. 2-2. Givens. He's got the most appearances on the team, and he strikes out Beltre. 2 away. Brings up Joey Gallo. He homered a little earlier. And has homered in every game in this series. Michael Givens, though, most appearances, strikeouts, holds. He's been a very busy reliever. And he gets a swing and a miss by Joey Gallo. Jeff Bannister is refused to name a closer after the trade of Keone Kela, and he said that he will go basically with matchups and workload, and he doesn't want to put anybody in that position or put that pressure on them. But Jose Leclerc would figure to get a lot of the opportunities. He's loosening up. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Joey Gallo. We'll just have to see how that plays out over time. Givens, and that is strike 3 called, so the inning is done. Rangers add a run. Jose Leclerc will come on to try and save this one tonight, but he got some insurance runs. Gallo Odor with another home run. It's 3-1. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. Here we go to the 9th inning. Gallo Odor with a home run to make it 3-1 Rangers. And Jose Leclerc, an opportunity to pick up a save here. 42nd appearance for the right-hander. He'll get the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this 9th inning. And Tim Beckham way out in front.
A little more comfortable opportunity for Jose after Rugi's home run. Gave him a 2-run lead instead of a 1-run lead. Some margin for error anyway.
Another swing and a miss. So he jumps out on Beckham. 0-2. Leclerc 2 wins, 3 losses this year, a 2.27 ERA. One of the keys, of course, getting that first guy you face, and he has managed to retire that first hitter 31 of the 41 times they have met, and the 0-2 pitch just off the plate. On a scoreless inning each of his last 3 appearances. In fact, he's allowed a run in just 3 of his last 26 games. So he's been pretty steady. Here's the 1-2. And that's strike 3 called. 97 with a heater there, and Beckham had no chance.
Yeah, that's his best fastball. You could tell he reared back and said, I'm just throwing this as hard as I can, and turned out it had a little movement, caught the inside corner. And Beckham has been a hot hitter. 6 hits in this series, but he wasn't ready for that 2-seam fastball. Caught the inside corner. See you later. Might have been ready for it, but he just didn't like the location of it. Got in there quickly too at 97.
So 1 away. Here is Adam Jones. And the changeup right in there for a strike. Rangers trying to make it 3 straight in this series. Jones pops this one up. Playable, perhaps near the plate. Kind of for left. They didn't have a lot of time. Had a great reaction and made the play. 2 gone.
He was a little bit distracted by Jones, who was running to first base. Kind of navigate himself around Adam, and then take 1 step and make the play. That's one thing you have to get used to, is catching pop-ups straight over your head like that when you're just learning how to be a catcher. Got a head start as an infielder. Still, it's a different look with the ball coming straight down on top of you like that.
Well, nicely done. And now a crowd of 24,300 trying to help Leclerc get to that finish line, and the first pitch is inside on Danny Valencia. Valencia 0 for 3 in his career against Jose Leclerc. Last hope for the Orioles tonight. He is 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. And a miss makes it 1-1. Minor went 7 innings, allowed a run on 4 hits. Corey Guerin a scoreless 8th inning, and now Leclerc. Leclerc looking for his first save of the year. High strike called, 1-2. You see Valencia reacting to that before it was ever called a strike, because I think he knew.
The pitch is not even close to being a ball. Well, it's one thing to argue on a borderline pitch, but not one that's all the way in the strike zone.
Fans are into it. Off the plate. 2-2. Leclerc with a couple of saves last year. There's 2 in his career. Those fellas want it. Here's a 2-2. And a liner third base high profile. What a play by Jurickson. And a perfect way to end this one tonight. The Rangers win it 3-1, and those boys can yell as loud as they want.
Yeah, that had to be 110 off the bat. Close to it anyway. Valencia's still arguing with the umpire as he walks off the field. I hope he goes and looks at the pitch grid and sees where that pitch was. But Jurickson didn't have a whole lot of time to react to that one. 3 up, 3 down for the save for Jose Leclerc, his first. Watch how quickly that gets on Jurickson. Had time to dive for it. Caught it right in the web of his glove and sits there for a second and admires the baseball and how happy he was to catch it.
That's pretty genuine excitement right there, boy.
It's a World Series to them.
Oh, man, that is awesome. A great finish to this one, and an all-round, really fun game. Mike Minor was brilliant. Picked up his 8th win of the year. And Jose Leclerc with his first save of 2018. So he handles that spot deftly tonight. All right, and Leslie McCaslin Standing by right now with Gallo Odor.
Well, Rugi, another home run tonight. That's 3 games in a row now. Where did all this power come from?
I don't know. I just I feel really good at the plate right now. I just try to do my job, you know, try to hit the ball hard as I can, and I feel really good at the plate.
We know how hard you've worked on offense and defense this year to turn things around. What are you more proud of, the way you're playing on offense or defense?
I think everything, both, you know, and I've been working hard in my defense and hitting too, so I feel really happy.
Both you and Joey have 7 home runs since the All-Star break. What do you make of the way he's turned things around as well?
I mean, Joey's been really good at the plate too. He's been really focused at the play, and he's playing really good right now.
After the way you struggled early in the season, how satisfying is it to be leading this team right now?
It's pretty good right now.
That smile tells you all. All right, thanks, Dave. Back to you.
Right on, Leslie. Indeed.
Caught him off guard with that one.
Things going well for Gallo Odor, going well for the Rangers as well these days. John Radigan, Mark McLemore, Pudge Rodriguez. Lots to talk about after this one tonight. For Tom Grieve, Leslie McCaslin, and our entire bunch, I'm Dave Raymond. Inviting you to stay with us. A lot more to come right after this.